that's kind of what sets you apart, nowadays. It starts with Ty Howell. He's played center here, he was a captain here, and you're not going to play in his room if you can't put your hand in the dirt and block.
What was going through your mind as you seen the ball go up?
I came down with it, but as you saw after I got popped, I definitely needed a water break after that one, but it was fun. I'm glad it worked out.
I think there's a subtle tell for the people who don't play football back home. It's hard to kind of discern when a tackle hurts or when it doesn't. If you just watch the way the player throws the ball back to the ref, it's typically a good indicator. I want you to go back and watch Tyler Warren's incredible catch and watch how he got rid of the football afterwards. If you could do an Oklahoma drill right now against any staff member, who would it be?
I would not go against Ty Howell.
Ty Howell. You don't want any work with Ty Howell. Just out of respect, though.
No,
or is it out of his
respect, and I don't want any parts of that guy putting his hand in it. I don't want to see him in the pads.
But if I could go against anybody, I'm gonna look into the camera too. Chuck Losey. You and that mustache, fake tough guy. Don't think he's physical enough for the point. Not a real grinder, so I would love that opportunity.
And I will say about Coach Deion too, his technique would be impeccable.
It would be.
But then there's just a size difference between me and you.
He's too little. He's too little. Well, listen, we gotta wrap this thing up. We're off on a tangent here. What's going on, everybody? Aeneas, Hawkins here in the Family Clothesline. If you have not found your way here, make sure to stop in. You can find Family Clothesline at 352 East College Ave, of course, State College, PA 16801. Make sure to stop in if you haven't yet. If you're gonna go online, you can find Family Clothesline at www.pennstateclothes.com. Visit us in the heart of Lion Country. We have extended hours here at the Family Clothesline on home football weekends, or you can find us 24/7 at www.pennstateclothes.com. What's going on, everybody? I am your host, Aeneas Hawkins, back with yet another episode of the Lions Den, joined as always by my wonderful, talented, run-stopping co-host, Devon J. Thomas. Excited as always to have you here.
Yes, sir. Pleasure to be here. And we are joined by Virginia native, loved by all, feared by many teams, number 44, one-hand catch legend, up there with Odell Beckham and them, I would say.
Yeah, same category.
Tyler Warren.
Happy to be here. Glad I come out tonight.
Well, listen, Tyler is a repeat guest of the Lions Den at this point. One of our first. Riley was the first. He's the second repeat guest.
Wow.
Excited to have you here, man.
Yeah.
I just reposted a tweet this week, and it was a SpongeBob meme, and it said, "Oh, reliable." And then the next picture was a picture of Tyler Warren on the SpongeBob meme. Yeah. And you have been hooping, brother. You've been hooping. I want to ask you, so far this season, how are you feeling? Obviously playing well. Has that been exciting for you? And where do you see the season going for you?
Yeah, I think we've been done really good so far. I think, our big point of the offense was being more explosive and just putting more points on the board in general. I think Coach K has done a great job coming in and doing that. And I know Devon and them appreciate that on the defensive side of the ball, but that's kind of been our main focal point, and I think we've done that throughout the game. Trey's had a great game. Mari broke 100 yards last game, so the ball's getting spread around a lot, and it's been fun.
Yeah, and Devon, I'll let you go in a second. I just kind of want to ask, as the defensive guys in the room, how much does an offense feed off of it when everybody is getting the love? How much does that lift the morale of the entire unit?
Yeah, I think obviously everybody wants to touch the ball, so sprint around is important. I think it just kind of shows, to our offense that we can trust a lot of guys, and there's a lot of guys we can go to when a big play is needed. So I think that makes us better as a whole, and then it's going to make it difficult for us to be defended when the defenses are trying to game plan for certain players, because there's a lot of weapons around us.
Yeah.
And, with you being part of the tight end room here, we've always had an incredible tight end room, from Gesicki to Pat to Brenton to Theo and now yourself. Then now with a new offensive coordinator, how do you think that Coach K has helped the tight end room just progress even more in that legendary space in terms of position?
Yeah, I think the tight end position specifically is kind of a position that can fill a lot of holes in offense, and he's been a guy that's used tight ends in his past offenses, and so just being able to be the most diverse tight ends we can be, I think is the most we can do to help out this offense, because he's going to use us in all the ways we seem fit, and so just having all those tools and being able to do different things is the best way to be valuable to an offense. And when you have a guy like him who knows all the special, crazy ways to get to certain things, it works out very well.
So, outside of yourself, you talk about weapons and getting the ball to different places. Who do you think has been a huge help to the offense this past season in the last 3 games that we've played?
Yeah, I think, obviously everyone knows about the running backs, and then they've had great seasons going into their third year now. And I think, seeing Trey step up in that first game, and he was a reliable guy in our last game, just making, sure-handed catches and getting up the field. I think the wide receiver room has stepped up. You saw Amari have a big game. Liam Clifford's a guy that's done really good. He got his first touchdown last game. Julian showed glimpses of what he can do in last game. So I think just that room has stepped up a lot, and that's what people were asking for before the season, and they knew that, and they took that as fuel, and they used it, and they've been doing great. So I'm really happy with that group, and I think it just only helped our offense.
Yeah.
We mentioned earlier just the fact that so many great tight ends have come from Penn State, and I know you guys are all boys. I remember Pat Fryermuth walking around Lash, throwing the Aces symbol up and all that good stuff. So you guys obviously are deep. But I want to know, is there some type of undercover competitive element when Pat Fryermuth is watching, or any of those tight ends who are in the NFL now are watching Penn State football games? Do you think there is any fear that maybe some of these records may start falling? Is there any type of banter back and forth with any of those guys?
No. Pat specifically he was at the first game, and he's been texting me, the past few weeks, but he's been supportive. I know Brent and Theo, I can text or call them whenever,
awesome.
and they'll be ready to help. So it's been good, and I'm excited to kind of be that old guy now and help these young guys with a lot of talent in our room when I move on and now while I'm here. So it's been fun, but no, it's been good. There's always going to be a little smack talk going on, but nothing serious. It's
Always.
been good.
I want to ask though. I mean, you are on the short list of Penn State guys that I played with. In terms of playmaking ability, it seems. Every time you get the opportunity and the football is around in the air, my money is on you because you've proven that time and time again. I want to get into your mentality when you see that ball up in the air. Where does that ability to convert on those opportunities come from?
I think really it just comes down to, we have so many reps and so much stuff that we do outside of the games that everybody sees. I know you two could speak on this. It's really just second nature at that point. You've done it 100 times. Drew has made the throw 100 times, and we trust each other. So it's really just, it's really not thinking at the end of the day, which sounds kind of funny, but it's just trusting yourself and knowing what you're capable of and what you can do, and that's kind of what we all do.
Yeah, and I feel like I have noticed that big time,
Special guest in the building.
Yeah, we got Nine today.
The nine that is something can't stay away from the show.
What's up?
He loves it. What's up, big dog? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Yes, sir. My dog.
But I definitely have seen a big difference just in terms of how much the offense trusts each other. In practice, you know how it goes, Hawk. Defense shows out every week. But the offense shows up and shows out every week nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's a huge credit to Coach K, and it's a huge credit to y'all. You guys have stepped up your game big time. We've seen that especially in the game this past week.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of young guys, get into the game, and you were able to see the many levels of talent that we have, from the 1s to the 3s to the 4s, et cetera, et cetera. Who have you seen out of the young guys in your room blossom? Who have you seen come out of their shell and really embrace the ace culture?
Yeah, I think Luke Reynolds is a great example. He's a guy that's been thrown into a position where he's going to have to play a little bit this year, and he hasn't. It's not anything crazy yet, but he had that catch in the game, which kind of just shows what he's capable of. And we've all seen him do stuff like that before. He's great with the run after catch, and he's learning how to block with his mentality. He's been great, and I think he's gonna that's kind of a guy that really embodies what we want as a tight end room and what Ty preaches as our coach. So I'm excited for him, and I'm excited for him to keep growing. But that's a guy that is going to be a very good tight end when he gets out of here, for sure.
For sure.
Ty, I've always taken you as a tough guy.
Thank you.
I've always felt like you had a little bit of grit to you. I remember getting you on a C-gap run one time, maybe your second year, and I remember leaving that play thinking, this kid's got some toughness to him. He's physical. But I want to ask you, as a tight end, I think your position is so uniquely challenging in the fact that you got to be able to get vertical and make plays, and then put your hand in the dirt sometimes and block guys like Devon J. Thomas. Are you a guy that takes pride in the way that you block for the other people on your team?
Yeah, I think kind of just our room in general, but yeah, me especially, I that's kind of what sets you apart. Nowadays it's hard to find a guy that can do both and be a weapon in both. So that's kind of what we take pride in our room. But yeah, it starts with Ty Howell. He's played center here. He was a captain here, and you're not going to play in his room if you can't put your hand in the dirt and block. So that's kind of where you start as a tight end. But yeah, that's how we think as a room. But it definitely starts with Ty.
I mean, I feel like you're the most diverse tight end in the country. You can put your hand in the dirt. You can go up. You can go get the ball. You can outrun linebackers, safeties, whatever it is. You're super athletic. I actually remember I think this is your first year. We went out to go play basketball. We're in Tommy Freiberg's his court. Shout out Tommy.
Shout out Tommy.
I'm coming down court. Tyler Warren running down court right there. I pass half court, keep dribbling, and I throw the ball at the T. Warren just to see. He jumped from damn near the free throw line. Two-hand grabbed it, back scratched, and dunked the ball from there.
Yeah.
His athleticism is ridiculous.
People don't know that.
They don't know that he was okay, for example,
Let's talk about it.
What sports did you play coming up as a kid?
I played the big three. I played football, basketball, baseball, and I did that all through high school.
He says that so humbly, but I remember talking to your father the other day, and he was telling me about some of your accolades in those sports. Can you speak on that just a little bit?
Well, I guess we'll start with basketball. I was a 1,000-point scorer in high school. I was a 2-time All-State, All-Metro, which we had in the Richmond area. But yeah, I averaged about 20 and 10 my senior year. Around there.
Did you have basketball offers?
I did not. No, I didn't really. I never pursued
it though.
Yeah,
really?
I didn't pursue anything.
Just something you did.
That's
right.
Basketball
Casual
was
20 and 10.
Yeah.
He's Tyler Warren. What are you talking about?
Basketball is actually how I got my offer here. I've told this story before, I think, to Hawk, but I'd been in contact with Penn State for about a year. I couldn't get an offer, and then I sent them my junior year basketball highlights. And about 5 minutes later, they called me back.
Started ringing quick.
And they offered me then. But yeah, so basketball has been a big help. Yeah. I think it does translate a lot to tight end, but I definitely enjoyed basketball in high school. It was fun.
So 20 and 10 in basketball. We didn't get to the other two
baseball,
sports.
Yeah, we didn't.
What did you do? I didn't know you played baseball until just now.
Yeah, so baseball, I didn't get to play my senior year, but my sophomore and junior year, I was 2-time All-State. I batted. I was like the third hole hitter.
Okay.
It was close to 500, high 400s batting average.
Oh, so you're just a ball.
But,
this guy just gets it,
I'm
man.
telling you, he's the most athletic tight end in the country. There's no question about it.
Do you feel like there's benefit now at this stage in your career to having played 3 different sports at a high level?
Definitely. I definitely think it's helped me a lot. Just, baseball, people take it for granted how hard it is to actually hit, when someone's pitching and hit a baseball like that. So I think the hand-eye with that, and then basketball translates a lot in the route running and stuff, going up, getting the ball, using your body to get open, stuff like that. So I think doing that is if I was a young kid or, when I have a son, putting him in as many sports as I can just to expose them to whatever, athletic movement you can, because in the end, it's going to help you in whatever you end up doing. So it's definitely helped me out a lot.
No doubt.
Did the baseball help in that touchdown pass you threw this weekend? Or?
I don't think it did based off the way it looked, but it worked out. But yeah, no, probably not.
When you get the opportunity to throw the football in a college football game, and again, this man was a great quarterback at the high school level, correct? You played quarterback in high school.
Yeah, I was committed to play quarterback to Virginia Tech.
Okay, so he's a real deal quarterback. So when you get the opportunity now to throw a football in a college football game, are you excited? Do you miss playing quarterback? What are the feelings like?
Yeah, it's definitely fun to be back there, and I'm just, to have another wrinkle in the offense, another thing for people to defend is kind of, what I'm most proud of. Just another thing I can help the offense and the team. But yeah, it's fun being back there. Throwing in gloves when you're a little hot and sweaty is difficult than if I'm used to it, but it worked out.
But you don't take the gloves off as a means to not tip the team off to what's going on. You keep your gloves on?
I did keep them on.
This time.
I haven't thought about taking them off. We'll see if that comes up
He
down
hasn't
the road.
needed to.
Right. Yeah, no, he's Tyler Warren. We've talked about that
Just
already.
Tyler Warren.
So
Yeah.
my question is this, okay? So obviously when you see any non-quarterback throwing the football, a part of you gasps because you're excited there might be a massive trick play that lands, and then the other part of you gasps because it's like he's about to throw this ball up, and we're going to see how it goes. Listen, if you're looking for your NIL jersey, Family Clothesline has what you need. Over 120 of the Penn State football players are exclusively working with Family Clothesline to bring to you their NIL jersey. Each one of Family Clothesline's NIL jerseys features the official patch that lets you know that these jerseys are the real deal, super authentic, and they directly benefit our Penn State Nittany Lions. Jerseys are available in both navy and white, and the sizes go up to 3X in both adult and youth sizes. This jersey program benefits the players in a great way. Make sure to go get yours at www.pennstateclothes.com. What type of, like, are you getting coaching points? Like, if this safety is here, this corner does this, like, do not throw that ball. Like, what is, like, that dynamic?
Well, yeah, so the run play that I had early in the game at quarterback, it was the same play, and I'm reading the widest guy whether or not to throw it to the running back or not. And the first one, he was just kind of sitting back there, so I just kept it, and honestly, I probably wasn't going to throw it no matter what the first time. But the second time, the widest guy and the guy who had him in man just ran up, and it was Nick, and I know he can, beat him with speed if he's running towards him. So I really meant to, like, kind of give it a little lob around the guy and just lead him over. It would have been.
Just threw it right under.
I didn't really have a grip, to be honest, and I kind of, like, pushed it out there. And it was like a backdoor cutting basketball.
We'll take it.
Come back to your sports.
Yeah.
That's how it came in. But, yeah, I'll take it.
No doubt about it.
That was incredible. So I got one last question, just in terms of that game. What was going through your mind as you seen the ball go up and it was a little bit behind you? You said, you know what, I'm just going to put my hand up and see if it comes down. What was going through your head at that point?
Yeah, I was the play before that, I actually, because we called a tempo play, so I knew, like, I can't come out of the game, but I looked at our Coach Ty on the sideline. I tapped my head and I was like, you need to get me out after this play, because I was tired from it was like 5 plays before that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I ran up, and like I said earlier, it's kind of just a reaction thing you do at that time, and I came down with it. But as you saw after, I got popped, and I definitely needed a water break after that one. But it was fun. I'm glad it worked out. But it was
that was impressive for sure.
I think there's a subtle tell for the people who don't play football back home. It's hard to kind of discern when a tackle hurts or when it doesn't. If you just watch the way the player throws the ball back to the ref, it's typically a good indicator. I want you to go back and watch Tyler Warren's incredible catch and watch how he got rid of the football afterwards to see how he was feeling.
Yeah.
I want to ask both of you this, but Devon, I'll start with you on the defensive side. Illinois is coming into Beaver Stadium on Saturday. It's no secret that they played well, beating Kansas, beating Nebraska. Again, they've showed that they are a competitive team and they're well coached, and they obviously have a lot of discipline, and that's how they've gotten to this point. In preparation, obviously you being here in the 9 overtime loss my senior year, what is the mindset defensively heading into that game?
Trust. Trust is probably the biggest thing going through our heads. Just trust our process, trust what we do on a day-to-day basis. Our identity is, tough football. And for them to want to come in here and run the ball down our throats, whatever their game plan is, from the film, that's what they've shown. We just have to rely on our technique and just trust in what we do. We can stop the run as good as anybody. We saw this weekend they had 22 yards rushing total, and then we have the rushers who can come off the edge and make sacks like you've seen this weekend once we stop that run. So it's just trusting in our ability to do the things that we're good at.
And Tyler, coming off of 718 yards this past week, we know Illinois is going to present a tough challenge. They're going to have creative looks for you guys. But what is the offense's mindset heading into this, ranked matchup?
Yeah, I think Illinois is a team that's kind of known for, its run stopping and the toughness that it plays with. They load up the box and like to run man behind it. So I think it's important that we still stick to the run game and establish that versus a great defense, and then letting our playmakers make plays. Man coverage, they got a lot of talent on their defense to guard in man, but we have a lot on offense. So winning those matchups will be really important. And, like Devon said, trusting each other to win the one-on-ones and put the ball in the right position if you're Drew, and making those tough catches and tight man coverage will be big for us. But, it should be a fun game, and I'm excited for us.
And it's even more fun, too, just I mean, of course, we could trust them in years past, but this year, especially with our offense being so explosive, that changes the way a team plays. You know what I mean? Their identity is run first, but if they're playing from behind the sticks the entire time, that won't be possible if they want to keep it a competitive game. Right. So with our offense being as explosive as they are, coming off 700, 800 yards in a game, we play a little bit more free, knowing and understanding that we have the offense behind us just backing us up. So
that's awesome. It's going to be fun on Saturday to watch that matchup. I got no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. I had a question for you, Tyler, but I'm completely blanking on what that was.
That's cool, bro. That's cool.
I don't remember what the question was. That's how it goes sometimes. This is what editors are for.
Oh, trust me, I
know. This is what I wanted to ask you. This is an exciting question. So I was just saying on one of my previous shows that when Penn State football gets up 35, 42 points, my heart, even watching the game on TV, the heart rate starts to increase because I know that's about Hawk time. Okay, the third and fourth teams are starting to go into the game. Yeah. And quick story, last time I actually played against Illinois, I went in the fourth quarter and the entire sideline, when people found out I was going in the game, erupted into cheers. Literally starting a Rudy chant. So I'm like getting ready to play in my first football game in 3 years. And I've got the sideline treating me like I'm Rudy, a former 4-star with 42 scholarship offers. Now I'm getting cheered just because I'm getting in. I say that to ask you, out of the young guys who played, the guys who maybe don't typically get an opportunity to go in there and do their thing, was there anybody offensively that you guys were really excited to watch that everybody rallied around?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's really one guy. You know, Tyseer Denmark's the guy who got his first college reception, who he's got a lot of upside and he's still learning everything, but he's going to be really good. So I was just glad to see him get in there and make plays. And, the young running backs, you don't get to see them a lot because of, Nick and Fat. They're two great players, but seeing them, Quentin and Cam make plays is really exciting. But I wouldn't say there's one guy, but just seeing, all the stuff they do at practice that goes unseen, being able to get on and play in Beaver Stadium is really cool to see, and I was really happy for them.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. When you put in so much work and see the work the guys put in to go from point A to point B, hard not to cheer for them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you had a tackle that game too, didn't you?
I did. First play.
Yeah, first play. Yeah, I remember that.
Guard pools. Yeah, the sideline was lit.
Oh, my goodness.
And you know what the worst part about that play was? I'm going to find this clip. I make the tackle by myself in the backfield. TFL. I literally have one stat in 4 years. Like, I won it in the books, right? Like, I kick is swept after 4 years. No stats. Amin Vanover, who did nothing to contribute to the tackle, gets up and runs off of the field doing this, shaking his head, gets credit to the TFL.
Yeah.
Wouldn't change it. So I did get swept statistically, but...
they say that you have to be the first one to get up and celebrate.
And I didn't. I was so shocked. Like, at that point in my career when it happened, I was like, wow, this is really cool. I waited a while.
You got to be the first one.
I vividly remember being in the locker room after the game, and Franklin never did this. But everybody, like, Franklin's giving his post-game speech to the team, as he always does. And people in the audience, my team, is like jeering, like, they're like, Hawk playing, Hawk made a tackle. And Franklin's like, it was good to see Aeneas Hawkins in the game. I'm sitting there shirtless, drinking a Diet Pepsi in celebration post-game. Good memories, I'll never forget. Tyler, I want to move on again. You're getting to the meat of the schedule here, and you guys have had success running the ball, throwing the ball, really at will, getting that offense more open. I guess my question is, how do you continue to find ways to incrementally improve throughout the course of a season, obviously with the tougher opponents coming up on the schedule now?
Yeah, I think it's, you got Tuesday and Wednesday practices where your work days. It's not taking those for granted and understanding it's still time to get better and still time to work on your craft. So I think, that's important. We still do some good on good during the week, which is really good for us, and just, taking advantage of the little time you have to really prepare once you get into the season, because it's 2 days of practice, and then really it's up to you on looking stuff mentally, stuff like that. So taking those days seriously, I think will be very important for us, as we get into the Big Ten schedule here.
Yeah. Last question I have, and we'll move on here, Tyler. We'll wrap this thing up. If you could do an Oklahoma drill right now against any staff member, who would it be? And then who would the one staff member be that you would not enter Oklahoma drill with if you didn't have to?
I would not go against Ty Howell.
Ty Howell. You don't want any work with Ty Howell? Just out of respect, though? No, or is it out of his physicality?
Respect, and I don't want any parts of that guy putting his hand in dirt. I don't want to see him in the pads. And if I had to Go one staff member. I'll look right into the camera for this. I'm probably calling Frank Leonard out and telling him to stick his hand in the dirt.
Wow. Wow. You're going to call him an old man?
That's crazy. I like Frank Leonard. I'm sorry that he has to do
I like him too, but I'm really just doing this to get him fired up.
Yeah,
I know he'd love it, but
yeah,
but
no
yeah.
doubt. Devon, how about you? One staff member you wouldn't go against Oklahoma unnecessarily.
Wouldn't go against unnecessarily. Wouldn't go against unnecessary. Probably Coach Franklin, just because I know what would follow that. You know what I mean? It'd be a win, but a loss at the same
you're
time.
Losing
so
way more.
it's a lose-lose situation in reality. So I think I just stay. You know,
as tempting as the
10 feet
Franklin
away.
pick would be, it's like it's not even worth it.
You're not really winning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll probably be in every freshman competition drill from
Yeah.
now to the time you leave.
As somebody who did that, I don't recommend that life. It's
Yeah,
not-
not at all. And the person I would get into it with, you know, probably Deion Barnes.
Yeah.
Deion Barnes for sure. You know, Coach Deion Barnes, incredible coach, doing an incredible job with the defensive line. He was GA when I got here, and our relationship formed a little differently than it would generally would between your position coach and a GA. You know, I have a lot of respect for Coach Deion, but he's talked a lot about his athletic prowess versus mine. So I would love to see, you know, I would love to see how that would play out for him.
Yeah.
I'd watch that one.
Yeah, you'd watch that one?
I'd show up for that one.
Yeah. I would not go against Deion at Oklahoma necessarily. That'd be my pick. I remember, again, when Deion was a GA, I'm a senior. I'm about to be done. Like, me and Deion don't really have much to talk about. But every time I'd see Deion, I would, like, basically call him soft and, like, challenge him to a fight, like, every day. And I remember he must have been having a bad day. He was carrying a bunch of binders and I'm like, Deion, like, shut up, Deion, stop talking. Deion dropped everything he was holding and squared up with me in the middle of the last hallway. It was not the day to mess with Deion. But if I could go against anybody, I'm gonna look into the camera too. Chuck Losey. You and that mustache. Fake tough guy. Don't think he's physical enough for the point. Leg drive, not there. Not a real grinder. So I would love that opportunity.
For sure. It's a good one.
Not a real grinder.
And I will say about Coach Deion too, you know, his technique would be impeccable.
It would be.
But then there's just a size difference between me and you.
He's too little. He's too little. Well, listen, we got to wrap this thing up. We're off on a tangent here.
I was just playing.
The viewers back home are lost.
They don't know what we're talking about, but, you know, just all jokes.
All jokes. Much love for those guys. Well, we appreciate everybody back home for staying tuned to the Lions Den here at State Media. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, make sure to do that at the State Media YouTube channel. Make sure to give us a follow on IG and stay tuned for more of the hottest topics and conversations around Penn State football right here on the Lions Den.